Just opening up the vacuum pump. We're not really we're getting barely any pressure out of it. We finally got a new vacuum gauge to kind of figure why we were having so many issues, and yeah, it turns out no pressure, well, almost no pressure. It'll still run it'll barely run a surge bucket milker, but it won't run the DeLaval, which is what we were hoping to use. Mind you, we were hoping to use it because we were having issues with the surge. Maybe once we get proper pressure, we'll be going again, but gotta pop this off. There's like I'll show you, there's a drum inside with, they call her vanes, which are like slats that slide out that then push all the air through the pump. That's the pressure tank. The clamp's a little worn on it, so we'll see. I'm hoping that this will get us by for a year anyways, and then we can maybe upgrade to something a little more, I don't know, reliable. Well, I mean, if we get this going, it'll be reliable, but if we get it going, I guess we won't really replace it until you kind of need to. There's the one that used to be in the barn, and it wasn't given any, well, the pressure tank was gone, so we bought this one to take the pressure tank off of it, and then once we did that, we realized that we weren't getting any vacuum out of the other one, so we popped this in, and it seemed to do alright for a few weeks, and then just slowly got a little worse and a little worse, so take her apart and see if we can get it going, and if not, I guess we'll have to find something to replace it, because not gonna milk our cows by hand, not gonna spend 4 hours a day milking cows. So we're doing a fair bit. Before, when I had this set up, it's just temporarily in there, kind of sealed off with plastic because the hole's too big from the old gauge. The old gauge doesn't work. But before, it wouldn't even come off the bottom there. So we're pretty close to 9 is what we're showing. There is a regulator there, so I'm not sure if what's capping us is our pressure regulator, or as you see with the red there is the pressure tank, the tape around that. There is like a clamp seal underneath that, but it's leaking air, so we'll see. You're supposed to be kind of 10 to 12. So we're just shy of that. We'll see if it'll run the bucket milker, but that's going to be way better than what we were doing. But we'll see if we can get that extra 1 to 3 pounds, and see if we can get it all working really well again. But that's a lot better than it was. So all I did, so on the end here, that's the motor, the electric motor. This is the vacuum pump. That's the pressure tank. So I just opened this up and pulled the whole drum out, and it's got like fins, 4 fins that come out of it, and so when the drum spins, they kind of come out and fill the space, and they push the air around and up through here. And actually no, they push the air up through here. They're drawing out of here, which is creating the vacuum. So all the vacuum builds here, and this is the regulator. So, but yeah, so all I did was I opened that up and cleaned everything and just put clean oil on everything, and seems to be a big improvement so far. You can hear a little bit of squeaking. I'm gonna grease that motor and see if it's somewhere in that belt bearing set. The oiler, I think, is supposed to cover the bearing on this, so maybe it's that one. We'll grease that up. But so far, big improvement. So you got the bucket milker in, and this is the pulsator that kind of pumps everything. So you can hear it's clicking away, which means it's going. And we could you could almost get it to click, but not like it was just barely didn't want to pulsate before. But I mean, it didn't have hardly any pressure. So this is a De La Val bucket milker, and then we've got other surge milkers that you put a strap over the cow and they hang there. So they were not working great, but they were working with the way it was, whereas this wasn't working at all. So, but it's nice to see a fair bit more pressure there, and hopefully that'll make our milk a little smoother, and maybe we'll see what we can do about getting another pressure tank on there, or figuring out how to get that, maybe see if I can get a clamp for that that'll seal off the pressure tank so we're not losing air, and maybe we get up to 10. Yeah, maybe my issue is the regulator. It might be just needs to be adjusted. Haven't looked into quite how that works, but we'll see. But big improvement.